I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, today we're reading from the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5. Let's focus on verses 6 through 11. So then, we must not sleep like the rest, but we must stay awake and be sober. For those who sleep, sleep at night, and those who get drunk are drunk at night. And since we are of the day, we must be sober and put on the armor of faith, and love on our chests, and put on the helmet of the hope of salvation. For God did not appoint us to wrath, but to obtain salvation through our Lord, the Messiah, Jesus, who died for us, so that whether we are awake or asleep, we live together with him. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up as you are already doing. Now, for the past few days, I've been working in my yard. And some people like working in their yards, right? When you visit their house, it's like entering a luxury resort. It's like somebody from a golf course has come and just put all this together, some botanic garden. My wife grew up in one of those yard families. She can look at a vacant lot and she can envision a beautiful garden. But I see a vacant lot and I think, wow, lucky guys, no yard work. I grew up in a family that prayed for August so the grass would die and we wouldn't have to mow it. Yeah, our neighbors hated us. True story. Now, I don't like yard work because I simply just don't have a vision for what my labor can produce. And all that digging and clipping with no immediate gratification because, hey, shrubs, they just don't grow fast. They don't grow fast enough for me. So to paraphrase the girl group TLC, I don't want no shrubs. No shrubs in my life. So sometimes being a follower of Jesus can seem like it's all self-sacrificing work and there's no foreseeable payoff. And it's easy to get impatient, especially if we can't visualize what we're working toward. And the congregation at Thessalonica had problems understanding what it meant to wait upon the Lord. And they had to learn to patiently endure in the work of faith and the labor of love with hope. And the main purpose of Paul's letter was to provide the Thessalonians with an accurate vision for what their faithfulness or their faithlessness will yield. So in order to motivate the Thessalonians, Paul describes the abstract concepts of faith and hope and love with action-oriented terms. Now, impatient people need a sense of momentum. And we are a culture that yells at the microwave for being too slow. So we are an impatient culture. In chapter 1, Paul referenced the work of faith, the labor of love, the endurance of hope. And then later he boils it all down to turning, serving, and waiting. So in today's chapter, he uses military terms. Perhaps you are feeling impatient, or even bored with seemingly rote Christian activities like reading the Bible and prayer, church attendance. Well, it's important to remember that we are in the midst of a raging spiritual war. And while we may not be experiencing a direct attack at the moment, someone around you probably is. Especially, we are all attacked. So, if we can visualize the war, in light of our overwhelming spiritual ammunition, well, then we can endure our battles with hope for the victory. By the way, my yard is starting to take shape by my wife's direction and my shoveling. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, Groundworks Ministries operates entirely through financial donations from faithful people like you. And yes, we need your monthly support. Donating is secure and it's easy at our website, groundworksministries.com. You know another way to help? Tell people about us. Tell them about Groundworks Ministries. Share these podcasts with friends and family. Share them on your social media. We love it when you do that. And of course, you can always direct folks to our website, groundworksministries.com.